it was really strange though, because there was a relief too. Like, oh, I said it. Knowing that, and this is another thing too, you gotta understand as a Hollywood celebrity, you start to wonder, like, you know, because even in my head, I'm thinking, when is the divorce gonna come? You know, it was almost something you expected, uh, as opposed to, you know, like, man, because you don't see anybody in Hollywood that just lasts forever. You know, very, very few. You just feel like, okay, this is the period. This is when it's gonna happen. You know, because I'd already been feeling separate. You know, um,
But also what I also hear is that when you finally were willing to acknowledge that as scary and whatever consequence might come, there's also that piece of, but now it's out here and whatever the consequences are, I can deal with it
like,
instead of just living in the fear of it. And I think it was also meaningful when you said, you know, now she could get to know me and I also make up, and now you could finally get to know yourself as well.
wow, that is the perfect definition of that because I didn't even know who I was.
Mhm.
I got trapped in a picture of Terry Crews, you know, and it was sustained by everything around me. You know, that's the I think that's the real danger of this being when you're popular and people are like, "Oh, you're the greatest," and you had a lot. I had a lot of sycophants that were willing to tell me how great I was and how lucky she is. You know, and you know, I'm actually thankful I didn't have a huge group of people around me. I was alone at the time. So I was kind of doing a film, not a film, but a TV project in New York. So there was nobody who was around me telling me like, "Oh man, you're good and you're great." I was just, it was, and you know, it was weird. It was the same day as a blizzard. And so it was really symbolic.
Yeah.
I was trapped in the hotel. I'll never forget. It was the Mercer Hotel in Soho, and it felt like a prison, felt like a dungeon. The rooms had no decorations. I was like, oh my God, they're doing this sparse modern thing, but it felt like, oh wow, this is a jail, you know? And I couldn't leave because it was snow up to 4 feet. It was really ridiculous. It hit New York.
You were
And
going to be forced to deal with this, whether you
oh,
wanted to or not.
I was forced. I was for like, man, you know, nothing. It was like, oh my God, it's me, myself, and I. And
Mhm.
it was a whole day of because originally you know, she hung up on me and I had to come to the grips that I didn't have a family anymore. Like, and what did that look like? What, you know, wow. And it was weird because I went through several different phases. I was like, okay, good. You know, the first phase is like, you know what? She didn't appreciate me. Cool. You know what? Hey, I'm Terry Crews. You know, I'll just find another woman and now I'm free. And I was like, but wait a minute. Like, this is the only person on earth that knows you and actually loves you. So free to do what? And it was always followed by new questions. One question would turn into another one. And then I was like, okay, well, um, you know, I can deal with this and maybe I can get her back. But I knew, I said, she always said she'd never be with a cheater. So I knew even the vows that she made. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm out here.
So how did you
Yeah.
find
Oh, go
so
ahead.
yeah, so I mean, so you're in the middle of that. You know, higher power put you there, and now it's like find your way out.
Oh, I, well, and I couldn't. It was like, you know, it was like being in a hole
Yeah.
and being afraid to yell help, you know, and but the only way you can get out of the hole is if you scream and yell, help, help, somebody help me, you know. But that would admit all kinds of weakness. You know, I was caught in this image of, you know, I can't appear this way. I can't, but it was done. Like I started this, I'll never forget about an hour later after that, I literally started to be like, I have to get help.